What if the Greek gods were on trial by you? You awaken on a stone throne suspended in midair. The clouds swirl around you like golden chains about to crush you. Above, the sky isn't sky, it's a frozen battlefield. And before you, 12 thrones hover amidst the lightning. From them, the gods of Olympus watch you, in absolute silence. Zeus crosses his fingers before his mouth. Hera doesn't blink. Ares seems to salivate. Aphrodite smiles, but the blood dripping from her dress isn't hers. Athena, for now, just waits. A black hammer rests in her hands, but the vibration she feels doesn't come from it. It comes from the eyes of the gods. They are listening to you, and you will judge them. A bolt of lightning splits the horizon. The sound explodes within your chest. Your arm tingles. The gavel heats. The columns supporting the courtroom sway as if they might collapse at any moment. Ares leans into Aphrodite's side and whispers, "Will he have the courage?" But the real danger isn't in front of you. It's behind. One step, another, the sound of nothing breaking. You feel it before you see it. The shadow brushes against your shoulder, and the voice, cold as stone at the bottom of the Styx, invades your ear without sound. Judging a god is easy. The hard part is surviving the sentence. You don't have to turn around. You already know who's there. Hades. Today, you will decide the fate of the gods. You will face wars, lusts, and crimes as old as time. And in the end, you may discover that the greatest defendant in this court is none of them. And you. Now, tell me, do you forgive those who created the world, or punish those who destroyed yours? But before the first god rises to be judged, tell me something. From which city and which country are you watching this trial? Olympus wants to know where the hammer of justice fell today.
The chains tighten around your wrists, cold, black, alive. They move slowly, as if tasting your skin. And yet, you sit on the throne. Not before it, not below it, in the center. Before him, all Olympus awaits. Hera, her gaze fixed on his. Ares, drumming his fingers as if begging for a bloody sentence. Apollo, silent, but with eyes too bright for an innocent. Dionysus, already bored, with a cup of wine that fills itself, even though he's never drunk from it. Above them all, floating on a cracked column, Zeus watches. When you try to move, the chains tighten. He smiles. "See, brothers? Our judge has woken up." Nobody laughs. Thunder cracks in the sky. The clouds tremble. Time seems to slow down. It's only when you feel a weight behind the throne that you realize it wasn't Olympus that put you there. It was him. You remember the voice, the touch on your shoulder, the whisper that froze your spine. It was Hades who chained you, and he is no longer there. Or maybe he is, waiting for the first sentence to demand the first consequences. The gods stare at you as if they already know the verdict, as if they're only feigning doubt, as if they're preparing for war. But a question throbs deep in his chest, stronger than the hammer, older than Olympus. Why you? Why was a mortal chosen to judge the immortals?
The metallic clang echoes before you even raise the hammer. Ares is already on his feet. He doesn't ask permission. He doesn't wait to be called. He wants to be judged now. He descends the steps of his throne like a general marching to the front. The ground trembles beneath his feet. Each step leaves flaming marks on the floating stones of the courtroom. His armor doesn't shine, it smokes. And the blood on his shoulders isn't symbolic, it's real, it's fresh. He stops in front of you and opens his arms. Come on, tell me what I came to hear. The file slides before his eyes. It has no number, only names. Cities razed, peoples extinct, thousands, perhaps millions. Wars he not only provoked but prolonged. Conflicts that could have ended with a gesture, but he chose to keep burning, for glory, for chaos, or worse, for pleasure. Ares smiles when he sees your hesitation. You call crime what you worship in secret. I only release what mortals hide. You feel the court stir at the sentence. Some gods agree, others look away. Hera snorts, Dionysus laughs, Apollo narrows his eyes, but no one interrupts. Ares steps closer. His face is just a few feet from yours. Have you ever killed someone? Have you ever tasted victory with your body covered in blood that wasn't yours? Because you all pretend to be civilized, but I know what's under your skin. The hammer weighs heavily. His arm trembles. He's not trying to defend himself. He's provoking. You take a deep breath, and before you can speak, he concludes, "Condemn me, judge, but in doing so, you condemn yourself." Now tell me, would you punish someone who only shows what already exists, or would you absolve the god of war?
The perfume arrives before her, sweet, dense, and laden with something metallic. When Aphrodite enters, the entire court changes its breath. Even time seems to slow. The gods follow her with their eyes, some with desire, others with fear. None dare ignore her. She walks to the center as if it were a dance. Each step leaves flowers that wilt seconds later. Every gesture seems calculated to seduce or to destroy. Her dress is white, but at the ends, it drips red. Aphrodite stops in front of you and smiles. It's not a provocation, it's not a threat, it's something worse. It's genuine. Since we're playing justice, tell me, judge, how many wars do you think were started by love? The parchment appears before her eyes. There are no bodies, there are stories. Betrayed kings, maddened queens, abandoned heroines, men who killed brothers, women who poisoned husbands, all for desire, all for her. You blame me for being weak. I just light what was already dry. She leans in close. Her voice is low, but it fills the space between his ribs. Blame men for wanting too much. I only give them what they beg for. A whisper invades your mind, a memory you tried to forget. A name, someone you loved, someone who died. Aphrodite leans in, almost tenderly. You were once my follower, even without knowing it. The penny drops. It's not a judgment, it's a settling of accounts. You look up, but she's already staring at you as if she knows the answer. Now tell me, do you judge Aphrodite, or do you judge your own heart?
The sky can't take it anymore. It splits in half. Thunder crashes so close that the chains on your wrists vibrate. The light is white, raw, endless. The other gods retreat, as if the air around them has turned deadly. Zeus doesn't walk, he descends. One step and space bends. Another step and reality seems to tilt. His golden beard, his eyes like collapsing stars, the body of someone who once crushed titans with a single gesture. He stops in front of you and smiles. You are doing well, judge, but the time has come to judge the Creator. The silence of the court is absolute. No one dares comment on the crimes, but they are there, burning in his eyes. Abandoned lovers, betrayed brothers, hidden children, cities at war at his behest, entire lineages condemned because he desired a mortal. You feel the weight of the hammer as if it were carrying the world. But Zeus doesn't try to defend himself. He simply spreads his arms, as if the judgment had already occurred millennia ago. Without me, nothing would exist. Not the gods, not you. The ground shakes, lightning ignites the sky behind him, and in that instant, something inside you awakens. A heat in his blood, a vibration that responds to his, an invisible thread connects his flesh to that god. The token floating in front of you isn't written in ink, it's written in blood. Your blood. You are a direct descendant of Zeus. And now, the entire court notices. The hammer weighs more heavily than ever. Zeus stares at you, not as a judge, but as a mirror he's tried to break before. Now tell me, would you destroy your father or become like him?
She doesn't stand. She doesn't bow. She doesn't defend herself. Hera remains seated on the marble throne, only lifting her chin. Her eyes pierce you like invisible spears. Her silence is already a sentence, but when she speaks, it's not to demand justice. It's to accuse you. Judge the gods but hide your own origin? The courtroom is restless. You feel the ground tremble beneath your feet, as if the floating columns are trying to escape the truth. Heroes destroyed? Yes. Illegitimate children killed? Yes. Wars born of jealousy? Of course. But tell me, Judge, where were you when all this began? The air shatters, the surrounding chains shimmer, and for a moment, everything disappears, even the throne. You fall. Images invade your mind like lightning. A secret birth, a hidden cave, a baby wrapped in cloth stained with gold and blood. Voices arguing about whether to kill or hide. Hera on one side, Zeus on the other, but her gaze was one of terror, not hate. You, an unregistered child, a threat, a prophecy that not even the gods dared fulfill. When she returns to the present, she's panting. The chains are tighter. Hera remains seated, motionless, unrelenting. Judge others if you wish, but know this: you betrayed Olympus before you even learned to walk. The gavel almost slips from your hand. The other gods look at you differently now, not as a judge, but as a bomb about to explode. Now tell me, what if Hera is the only one who saw what you really are?
The silence in the courtroom is crushing. The weight of the revelation still hangs in the air, until it's torn apart by a drawn-out, dissonant laugh. Is this a trial or theater? Dionysus stumbles in, cup in hand, an ivy wreath draped over his brow, and an undead satyr tugging at his cloak. The wine drips from the chalice like blood, his eyes red as fever. He spins around, raises his arms, and applauds. Wonderful! Accusations, revelations, family drama. All that's missing is for someone to die. The floor creaks. A column breaks high above and falls straight onto Apollo's throne, which he leaps from at the last second. A scream pierces the sky, not human, not divine, something ancient. Ares rises again, but this time it's not to be judged, it's to attack. He runs towards Zeus, weapon in hand. Hera screams. Athena summons her shield. Hermes disappears. Dionysus laughs as if it were carnival. The entire court falls apart. Floating stones tumble into the void. The chains around you snap. The hammer slips, but you catch it before it hits the ground. And in that instant, the sky falls. A tear opens in the clouds. From the depths of the abyss, something awakens. It is not a god,
It is that which came before the gods. The foundation of Olympus trembles as if it were about to be swallowed. Athena shouts the name everyone was afraid to pronounce. Kronos. The trial activated a forgotten curse. And now, the Titans are waking up.
The ground still trembles beneath your feet. Fragments of sky fall like liquid glass. Voices scream in every direction, but you only hear the sound coming from within. The hammer still throbs. You try to stand. The chains have broken, but the throne is no more. Now all that remains is your decision. There is only time to judge one more. The first to approach is Athena. Her face is calm, her eyes sharp. There is no fear, there is no pleading. She doesn't want to be exonerated, she wants to be understood. Her every step resonates with logic and strategy. She represents what remains of order in the chaos. But at the same time, Apollo advances from the other side. Golden light envelops his body, but his eyes hide something. He doesn't speak, he just stares at you with the serenity of someone who knows the future and has seen what happens if he's left behind. He doesn't plead, he trusts. Athena to her left, Apollo to her right. The courthouse is crumbling, but they remain motionless, waiting. You feel the gavel boiling in your hand. It demands a sentence. And now, for the first time, you realize every choice rewrites the fate of the world. Judging Athena is confronting reason. Judging Apollo is confronting truth. But you can only choose one, and the other will be freed. Now tell me, who would you let loose knowing that the truth could die with them?
The sentence barely leaves his mouth. The courtroom explodes into light. A wave of energy rises like a wall, swallowing thrones, gods, columns, and the sky. The hammer glows with unbearable intensity. You try to protect yourself, but there is no shield against the end. The last thing he sees is Zeus's face, surprised for the first time. The ground disappears, the air drains away, and you fall. Not like before, not like someone who loses their balance, but like someone who is ripped from existence. You plummet amid floating debris, black lightning, the voices of the gods in fury, or panic. The hammer remains clutched in your hand, as if refusing to let go, or as if it hasn't yet finished its work. The light fades, so does the heat. The world grows cold, very cold, until everything stops, and what's left is darkness. Then comes the voice, echoing from all sides, ancient, sunk in 1,000 deaths, older than Olympus. Judge the dead now. You try to breathe. There is no air, but you are still alive. Or at least, he's still conscious. The next arena has no sky, no light, no hope. The next arena is the underworld.
You judged the living gods. Now you will judge those they condemned. Those who were erased from history. Those who died in the name of order. Those who defied Olympus and were cast into the darkness as a lesson. They await you, trapped in the depths, forgotten even by their own executioners. But there is something worse than finding the dead. It's discovering that some of them are right. The hammer is still in his hand, and in the underworld it weighs more heavily than ever, because here there are no heroes, only secrets, and sentences nobody had the courage to pass. If you want to continue deciding the fate of Olympus, sign up now. The next trial will be in the kingdom of Hades, and down there is no forgiveness.